Hello, folks. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, teacher. Good morning. Yes.
Hello, good
Hey,
morning. How do you feel today? Folks, welcome to the third session. So in this session, we're gonna discuss some things related to morphemes.
Teacher, I cannot hear you very well.
You cannot hear me? Now you can hear? I would like to know if you can hear me.
Yes, teacher, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, as I told you before, today we're gonna discuss about morphemes, morphs, about the processes of word formation and so on, okay? So we have some practices here, and if there is something that you don't understand when I'm explaining, let me know, because the tasks that you will be presenting next Sunday will be according to these, okay? Okay. Did you read the documents on the platform that we have? Okay, as I told you before, so we're gonna discuss morphemes and morphs. What do you think what is morpheme? So what do you understand by morpheme? Can you hear me?
The morpheme is the root of the word.
Okay, good. At a certain point, yeah, you're right. Do you think that a morpheme is a meaningful morphological unit of a language, which is cannot be further divided?
Yes, that's exactly.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Because for example, we have income, that is a morphemes, right? Something that you can't divide. So as you can appreciate on the screen, we have two types of morphemes. We have the grammatical morphemes and the lexical morphemes. Who can talk about the grammatical morphemes? What is that? Ariel? Ariel Altamirano, can you hear me?
I can hear you, teacher.
Okay, thank you, Judith. Claudia Oviedo, what do you think about the grammatical morpheme? What is that? Folks,
Can you hear me, teacher?
participation will be taken into account, okay?
Hello, teacher. Can you hear me?
Hi, Tish. Can you hear me?
Of course.
I don't know, teacher. This is a topic that I hated, to be honest, because
Really?
I have never understand it very well.
Because of its complicity, right?
Yes, it's confused.
Yeah, a little bit. Graciela, what do you think? Do you have something or some idea about a grammatical morpheme, grammatical morphemes? What is that?
Well, the only thing that I know about morphemes is what I mentioned before. I do remember that we spoke about this in a previous topic on a previous class, but I just forgot.
Okay. No one has any idea about this? Eduardo?
Hi, teacher. Right.
What do you understand by grammatical morphemes?
It's something about prefixes, suffixes, and all the things.
Okay. Well, folks, grammatical morphemes express a limited number of very common meanings or express relations within the sentence, right? So when we talk about very limited number of very common meanings, so means that we have the function word and the inflectional affix. So when we say function word, means the categories that we have in a sentence. For example, or tell me, what are the categories that we can find in a sentence? Or the word classes. Probably some of you can understand by word classes. Word classes or function word are the same thing.
The prefix, the suffix.
Sorry?
It's the prefix, suffix, and I don't remember very well, but it's some sort of that.
Well, when we say function word or word classes, means if we can find of if the word is a preposition, if it is an article, a demonstrative pronoun, a conjunction, if we got some auxiliaries and so on. So it's related like the common name that probably you are accustomed to is the part of speech. They are related to the same thing, okay? Parts of speech or function word are the same. So we're gonna identify if the word has an article, if belongs to a demonstrative pronoun or conjunctions, okay? And verbs as well. And when we have the inflectional affix, means that the verbs, in the case of the verbs that can be modified. For example, when we talk about the third person, if we have works, the inflectional affix there is the letter S. But that is in the case of verbs. But what about if we have a noun?
It stays the same.
Yeah.
Yes, it doesn't change.
For example, if we have box, and we want to make the plural of box, so we need an inflectional affix. That in this case would be
ED.
which one?
ES, sorry.
ES, right. And the pronunciation changes, right? If we have the singular, box, and the plural will be boxes. So that ES is the inflectional affix. That is related to the grammatical morpheme, okay?
Got it.
So we have the other part related to morpheme. We have the lexical morphemes. What is that? So what do you understand by lexical? Do you think that it's related to the meaning of the word, to the form of the word?
According to the information, it is the dictionary meaning. So yes.
Right, right. It's related to dictionary, right? So, and when we have the lexical morpheme, so we also can find the content word, as I told you before, to identify if the word is a verb, a noun, an adjective, and so on, okay? But here we have a derivational affix. When we say, or when we talk about derivational affix, means to those words that can be derived from another one, okay? But the word, the meaning changes. For example, when we use the prefix or suffix. Who can give me an example?
Happiness, teacher.
Yes. If we have the word happiness, that is compound, right? With the derivational affix. But if we notice the root or the simple word is happy, just happy, right? So in that case, happy, what is the function word in that word? Folks, in the example that Eduardo said, happiness. So happiness, the derivational affix is included there. But what is the function word? What is the simple word? Because we need to specify that, right? So
The simple word is happy.
sorry?
The simple word is happy.
Yeah, but what is the function word of happy?
Ness, the function word.
Yes, I mean, if the word happy is a verb, is a pronoun, is a noun, what it is?
It's an adjective.
It's an adjective, right? That is the content or the function word, right? It's an adjective. And when we add the derivational affix ness, that in this case is prefix or suffix?
Suffix.
It's a suffix, right? So in that case, happiness with the suffix. So the word or the content word or the function word changes from adjective to
Noun.
noun. That's very good. Now, let's move on to the second one. Over here, we have the morphs. So we have something different when we talk about morphs. So morphs at a certain point can be a written or pronounced portion of a word, okay? For example, as the first example that I was giving you, when we have the verb finish and finishes, that is the morphs, right? Es, but in this case is related to the pronunciation. In the morphs, we have the free morphs and the bound morphs. When we talk about free morphs, it's related to the root. We also find the content word and the function word, okay? And in the bound morphs, we have the affix. You know that when we use the term affix, means that we can include prefix or suffix, right? Then we have the
Okay.
bound root and the enclitic morphs, right? In the affix, we have, according to the diagram there, we have the prefix. This can be derivational, and we have the suffix, can be derivational or inflection.
What?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, and when we talk about enclitic, we have the auxiliary or negative, right? So, but probably you are wondering yourself, what is enclitic? What does enclitic stand for? In this case, as you can see there, that says that the enclitic can be an auxiliary or negative. So what does it mean? That enclitic is a kind of construction, okay? Or a negative contraction. For example, in a simple sentence, when you say, I am George, so the enclitic, the auxiliary is am, right? The verb be. But if we say that the contraction is I'm George, that is the enclitic way, right? Or if we have the auxiliary will and shall, so what is the enclitic there? It's the apostrophe plus double L, right?
Correct.
Folks, what about the rest? Everybody is listening to me?
Yes, sir. Listening to you.
Yes, we are.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move on to
Listen
the,
to
to the other
teacher.
ones. Do you have any question here?
To be honest, sir, I wasn't listening to the
Okay.
first presentation because I was having enough problems until now.
Let's see an example. So when we have the process of word formation, let's say we have the word non-smoker. So then we have to make a tree, a diagram, okay, to separate the root, the derivational affix, the inflectional affix, the content word, and so on. So who can tell me why do we have a letter N here?
If I'm not mistaken, because it's a negative process.
Why negative?
Because the prefix is non, and non is a negative negative element, right?
Okay, what about the rest? Do you agree with Eduardo?
I have sort of the same idea, but not sure.
Slater. Jessica. What does that N stand for in the diagram, in the first diagram?
For me, it's a noun.
Yeah, so I think yes, it will be for the negative since we have at the middle a not. So I will say that is for the negative one.
Okay. Ingrid Zapata, what do you think that the letter N stand for? Ivania or Judith?
For me, it's an uncountable noun, teacher.
Okay. What's her name?
Judith.
Okay, Judith. Douglas, do you agree with her? Eliu, do you agree with her?
Countable noun.
Yes, teacher. I agree with her. But it could be, but I'm not very sure about it. So
Okay. Now, I'm gonna come back to the first slices that we have here. Okay, listen. If we have the morpheme, as I told you before, we have two types of morphemes, right? We have the grammatical morpheme and the lexical morpheme. Let's see the grammatical morpheme. It means that we have the function word, but when we say function word, so everybody understands, right? Yes? Okay, the function word. So my question is, what is the function word of non-smoker?
It's a noun.
Right. The letter N means or express the function word of the word that we have there, that in this case is non-smoker. So we put the categories, right? Which categories is the word? In this case, it's a noun. Then we have the derivational affix that in this case is a prefix or a suffix.
It's a prefix.
Right, it's a prefix. The prefix is none. But when we talk about prefix, remember that we have different types of prefixes, right? We have some prefixes that means or that has negative meaning, right? And this is one of these ones, a negative meaning. And then we have the noun. But the noun, we have the simple word or the verb smoke, and then we have another derivational affix that in this case is a suffix, right?
Yes, the ER is a suffix.
This kind of suffix, do you think that it's related to the occupational that the person has or not?
Would say so.
Yes. So we have none, then we have the verb smoke, and then we have the other derivational affix that in this case is er, right? That belongs to a suffix, a kind of suffix. So that is the distribution of the word non-smoker. You understand?
Yes.
That is the process of a word formation. On the other side, on the right side, we have another way that is not correct, okay? If you notice there, we have the noun, we have the noun. In the noun, we have the derivational affix, none, then we have the verb, and on the other part, we have the ER. No, that is wrong because that suffix cannot be separated as another word, right?
Correct.
Does anyone have any questions so far?
So far, so good, teacher.
Very good, Eduardo. What about the other one? Remember
Good
that
so
these
far.
things will be taken into account
Got it.
in the
Yes.
exam, right?
So.
So,
You know that this topic is a little bit difficult in Spanish, so I think in English it can be a challenge.
remember that in this case, probably you quite understood the distribution or the process of word formation of non-smoker because the word is a simple word. But what happened when we have a complicated word? Let's see another one.
Teacher,
Yes?
and sorry, I couldn't understand.
Where? Which part? Okay. Let me tell you something. To understand this, folks, you need to read the document that is on the platform, and you need to understand what a morpheme is, what a morph is, what are the processes that we need to take into account to identify when a word has a grammatical morpheme or a lexical morpheme, okay? So in this case, we have the word indeed, right? And we need to distribute or to process the word into chunks, right? To separate which are affixes, which are verbs, which are derivational or inflectional affix. In this case, we are not selecting if the word is a noun, if the word is verb, if the word is an adjective. No, because they already have a function word, but that function word must be processed into chunks. When I say chunks, in this case means we need to separate which are inflectional, which are derivational, which are affixes, which are verbs, the root, and so on, okay? Let's see another example. We have, what is the word? Who can read that word?
Unimpressionable.
Right. So what is the function word in that case?
Disagree.
If you notice, if yeah, we have the letter N, but here we don't have the letter N. We have the letter A.
A.
An adjective.
Able.
An
And
adjective.
it's expressing the function word of that word. So what it is?
It's press. It's a verb and it's press.
A verb?
Press. It's a
An
verb.
adjective. It's an adjective.
That's
Teacher,
right. It's an
Teacher.
adjective, right? If it were a verb, we were not using the letter A. We were using the letter V, right? To express that the word is a verb. So
Correct.
impressionable, we have that is an adjective. Then we're gonna separate, right? So
Right.
we have the first one, the derivational affix. That in this case is a negative prefix, right? An. Then we have the adjective instead. But in the adjective, we have the noun. Why we say noun? Because we have impression. Impression is a noun, right?
Yes.
So, but this noun impression, we can be divided into a verb and into a suffix. What is the verb? Impress. Without ion, and the ion is a suffix, right? A derivational affix. Impression, impress. You understand that part?
Yes, I got it.
Yes.
Okay. And when we have the adjective instead, we have another derivational affix that is able, right?
Right.
Why adjective? Why do you think that we can also say that it's an adjective, and in the adjective we have a noun and we have the suffix able? Why adjective? Because we also have impressionable, right? Impressionable contain the verb and the suffix able. So that is the right distribution, okay? The diagram, the right diagram that we have to use for that word, impressionable, not the diagram that we have on the right. Can you analyze it? Can you see the differences? Does anyone have any questions so far?
Well, I think so that is the impressionable is the express and preface and plus lexema. No.
Yeah, the lexical.
Okay.
Brandon, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Brandon.
Expression plus three for one.
Folks, if you don't have any questions, okay, so we're gonna end here, but just let me remind you that on the platform, you will find the task. The task is related to this activity that I was explaining to you. So on the task, you will find a chart, right? With different types of syntactical patterns of language, okay? So you need to select for each syntactical patterns of language. I think that I have 4. So for that form patterns, so you need to select 3 words, okay? And then you need to do the diagram for each one. You understand?
Yes, yes.
Everybody understands?
Yes, teacher.
Yes,
got it, teacher.
So,
okay. And that's, yeah, and that word handed to me, right? Next class on February 11th. So you need to deliver that task to me, right? Because it will be graded, right?
So, teacher, we're gonna have the quiz anyway, or it's gonna be
Yes.
2 activities, the
Also, you
quiz and
will
the
have a
presentation.
written quiz. And this topic will be included, right?
In the quiz?
Yes.
Okay.
So it will be included the idioms and the slangs, the translation of those. But remember that when we talk about translation, it's or means to look for another synonym for that, right? And this part. So if no questions, thank you for being connected.
Teacher, we
Yeah?
we have a question. On the task, you said that we need three of them, right? That it will be for compound nouns. Just three
Jessica,
of them.
I can understand you well because of the noise of your microphone.
I'm sorry. Let me move on.
Yes, teacher, the question is,
Yeah.
well, actually, I would like you to repeat the task again because I didn't get it right. So could you please give the
task for today?
instructions again?
Okay, listen, in the document, in the platform session 3, you will find a document that is called task or homework. There you will find a chart. The chart is divided in some syntactical patterns of language, okay?
Okay.
So from each one, you're gonna select 3 words that you have there, just 3 words for each syntactical patterns of language, okay? And then when you have selected those words, you're gonna do the diagram
Okay.
that I was explaining here, right?
So
You guys understood?
yes, I
Got
got
it.
it.
Thank you.
I think so.
Okay, if there's something that remember that we also have a WhatsApp group, right? So you can consult there.
Okay.
Okay, folks. That
Yes.
all. Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome, teacher.
Teacher, have a great day.
The same for you. The same for you.
Which one?
See you at 1.